And I welcome you back to the British Channel, and today we are talking about the California rains, Lake Oroville, Lake Shasta, Lake Folsom as well, and the snowpack. And we have a lot to cover today as California has been extremely wet lately. We'll start off at windy.com, and we are going to look right out at the weather radar first. As you can see, it might be lightly raining at Lake Oroville. You can see a lot of this precipitation up here at Mount Shasta, and it's moving through right now. This one's not the big one. The big one's still to come on Monday, so they're saying Eureka's getting hit pretty good in the last 12 hours. Lake Oroville has increased as well as far as rain percentages go. San Francisco's getting in on it. You can see down here, my friends at Bakersfield got a little rain today as well. Nothing so much in LA. Let's roll out to the 72-hour map to see how much rain has fallen thus far in the last 72 hours so far. Here we are at the 72-hour map, and you can see Los Angeles actually got quite a bit of rain. Las Vegas, over here in Utah as well, they received precipitation, and we are focusing on California, so we roll out here to Oroville, and you can see in the last 72 hours they received almost 5 inches there. Over here they received quite a bit, 7.2. Let's go to the last 24 hours and see how much that has fallen. 0.42 in the last 24 hours, so most of this came earlier. Most of this came in the last 48 to 72 hours. We go back to the 72-hour precipitation here, and you can see up here by Lake Shasta, Mount Shasta up here, 2.9 Sacramento River here, 0.84 over here by Trinity. They received 1.07, so it continues to increase. Down over here, 0.50. So it has come up. Lake Oroville, 6.78 in spots, 4.48 down here, 3.27. We come down here to Bear River. You can see 1.84. We come over here to the South American River, 1.88. Lake Tahoe itself, 0.43 in the last 72 hours. We come down a little further. You can see 3.18 here. We come over to Fresno, 0.95. So you can see that most of the state had received a little bit of precipitation, except for right over here on the other side of the Sierra Mountain Range here. And to the east, southeast of California here, my friends at Lake Havasu City, they didn't receive anything, and that is what's going on at the 72-hour map. This changes regularly. There's a lot of precipitation come. The big one's big storm coming on Monday, so be aware of that. And we continue to roll back out to windy.com. We'll be looking at the precipitation that's coming in the next 10 days, and then we'll go to tropical tidbits after that. As we roll into windy.com, you can see that there is plenty of rain coming to California in the next 10 days. The big winner here will be Mount Shasta, if you call it a big winner. There's going to be mudslides, avalanches. This is going to be a dangerous situation. 16.4 inches of precipitation, and the majority of this is going to be new snow. Check this out, 138 plus inches, 141 inches possible here at Mount Shasta. Good news, bad news. You need the rain, you need the snow, but boy, that's a whole lot of snow, and you're going to be well above average, and we'll be talking about that here in a little bit. And we continue to go back to the rain accumulation, and you can see down here 11.61s, and we scoot in a little bit further towards Lake Oroville, 13.8, possibly 14, almost 15 inches. There's a 15-inch possibly here in the next 10 days, so your inflows are going to start ramping back up here shortly. Grass Valley, you are talking 11.5. We go over towards Folsom and the American River, 9.91. We go down to Bear Valley, 11 inches of precipitation. We go down to Yosemite Valley, 11.8. Mammoth Lakes over here, 9.25. We continue to roll down further to Bishop. You can see Bishop's 5.14, and right here another 9. So with all this new rain and new snow coming, you are going to have a fantastic water year coming up. You're going to have plenty of water here in the Sierra Mountain Range, which you definitely need, and that will help out. We go over to the snow depth currently, add another 100 plus inches on that. You're talking about 156 inches, and with this Southern Sierra being around 90% for your April 1st date, that's incredibly high. You got 48 inches up here. We go over to, that's the central. You go over here to Lake Oroville area. You have 35 inches. You come up here towards Trinity area, 52 inches right right now with another, you're going to have over 200 possible inches possibly here, maybe even more in the mountains here. This is going to be a ton of precipitation that's coming. Your current temperatures, Chico's 50, Yuba City's 48, Sacramento's 52, Stockton's 50, Groveland's 50, Mammoth Lakes is 26, South Lake Tahoe's 30, Reno's 32. So you get the idea. It's cold in the mountains, warmer in the valley, and we continue to roll along here. We are going to go to Tropical Tidbits next. Here we are at Tropical Tidbits, and you can see the first storm coming through. This is Monday, and it continues. Another one comes through, and another one comes through. You got all kinds of storms that are coming through here. A little break, and then another one starts to come through, and this is the next 16 days. It's going to be really extremely wet. You have another one that's possibly coming through way beyond that, and then another one building, and it starts to go down, and it gets the northern part of California with another one coming through after that, and we're getting close to the 16-hour mark, 384, and you can see this possible another one that's possibly coming through. So we will be watching this very carefully. It does start to dry out a little bit to the south, but man, it does its damage long before it ever gets there. We'll be seeing that this continues. This is definitely not a El Nino pattern. El Nino pattern more comes towards the south, Mexico, and comes up through the Colorado Rockies here. And you're not seeing a lot of that because it impacts Illinois' weather where I live, and it goes up like this. So we'll be watching this. This is not that kind of pattern. This is more of a straight east to west type of pattern, not a La Nina. So we're still not in El Nino yet. We should be flipping though here in the next year. Like last year, this is 3 years in a row that we've been in a La Nina. And it's very crazy that it hasn't flipped to an El Nino yet. Let's roll down to the snow depth next. On January 5th, you were at 54%. Northern Trinity was 142. Central Sierra, 74%. On January 5th was 186% in Central Sierra. Southern Sierra, 80%. What it was on January 5th, 203. We go 2 days, and you can see that has increased by a lot. 90%. This has come up 10%. 219%. 81% in Central Sierra, 196. 59, it went from 57 to 59, so that has increased by 2. This is really going to increase next week. Almost guarantee it. This will be a lot higher, maybe even over 100 possibly by next week this time. 149%. So I think the snowpack is going to be extremely well this summer. What we have to watch is a big rainstorm to come in and melt it all, bring real-time flash flooding like in 2017. That's something to be concerned about, something to be thinking about in the back of your mind. That's what happened at Lake Oroville. They had big-time snows in January, and then it turned into a big-time rain event in February, and it melted everything so rapidly that it wasn't able to handle it, and then it caused for the dam failure. So we'll see how well this infrastructure holds up this year with all this precipitation coming. Just to be alarmed, the Tanner gates at Lake Oroville are still questionable at best. They do leak. A lot of people are like, well, they leak. They always have leaked. That don't make it right. There's other Tanner gates around the country that don't leak. And for example, here in my home state of Illinois, they have Tanner gates at Lake Carlisle, and they don't leak whenever they have them shut. There's nothing coming out of that lake whatsoever, and they are to the bottom of it. So something to think about. That's not normal for Tanner gates to leak. Just so we're perfectly clear, let's continue to roll. We're going to roll down to Lake Oroville's inflows and outflows next. Here we are at Lake Oroville's inflows, outflows. Your outflows are currently 0. We'll be talking about the reservoir elevation here in a minute. Storage acre feet, your 1,501,807 is your storage acre feet. Currently, it's come up quite a bit. It was at 1.486 here 12 hours ago. You can see this has come up. Your current inflows are 15,055. And your outflows here are 0. It continues to be 0. 17.55 inches at the beginning of the day. So you have received 0.4 of an inch, and that came between the 5 and 6 o'clock hours a.m. this morning. So nothing at the reservoirs currently. It continues to stay steady, and that will be coming up over the next several days. And remember, this is at the dam. This is not in the valleys. The valleys receive way more precipitation than at the dam just from covering this over and over. you can definitely tell that there's a difference between at the dam and in the valleys. Let's roll out to Lake Oroville's water level next. As we roll out to Lake Oroville's water level, it's currently 730.27 feet MSL. Saturday, January 7, 2023 at 10 a.m. the level is 169.73 feet below full pool of 900. Changes since yesterday, 2.45. You can see it's starting to curve a little bit. Inflows are slowing just as we showed you, as here in 2022 it was more of a straight line, and it looks different than it did last year at this time, and we're well above 2021 mark, so that is what's going on there. And we continue to roll on out to Lake Shasta next. Lake Shasta does have outflows unlike Lake Oroville. Your current outflows at Lake Shasta are 805 feet, and your inflows are 24,858. And you can see that a couple hours ago they were releasing 1,884. They have slowed that down to 805. Your inflows were 29,938, and your current outflows are 24,858. So those have come down slightly, and we will be watching this. Let's go check out the reservoir level next. Lake Shasta's water level is currently 936.16 feet MSL. Saturday, January 7, 2023 at 10 a.m. The level is 130.84 feet below full pool of 1,067, and you can see that it's higher than it was in 2022 but lower than it was in 2021. Changes since yesterday, 1.52 feet, and we continue to roll on over to Lake Folsom next. As we roll over to Lake Folsom, you can see that current storage acre feet is 489,146. Outflows are 24,610, so they're releasing a whole bunch out, and your inflows are 8,463, and this was at the 10 o'clock hour. And we continue to roll on over to the water level next. Lake Folsom's water level continues to fall. The water level is currently 415.01 feet MSL. Saturday, January 7th, 2023 at 11 a.m. the level is 50.99 feet below full pool of 466. Changes since yesterday, 2.30 feet, and it's on the negative side, and it will eventually start to increase. They're letting water out with the amount of precipitation coming. It's my only good explanation for that. I can't imagine why they would, because normally they don't release this much out all at once, and they sure seem to be. So that is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really have much time for anything else. It is Saturday, and I got other things to do. So you guys have a blessed day, and we will see you on the next one. God bless. Have a great Saturday. Bye.